Ladies and gentlemen, meine Damen und Herren, welcome back. What derails gains? Today we talk about overtraining. Overtraining, one of these things, like you can't open a magazine, you can't do anything without hearing about overtraining. Everybody's overtrained. You need this supplement to combat overtraining. You should not train more than twice a week, etc. Here's the thing, overtraining is actually really rare. I know, shocking, right? Most bodybuilders are not overtrained. They may be undernourished and underslept, but actual overtraining happens much more in endurance sports. The reason is endurance sports you can actually do for a couple hours a day, whereas weightlifting, I mean, unless you're the guy that has a protein shake, talks with the bros, updates on Facebook, and you're there for 2 hours, you're not gonna do much more than an hour. So actual overtraining, which would mean elevated pulse rate, weight loss, depression, difficulty sleeping, concentrating, irritability, doesn't happen all that often. Now, overreaching is actually something that you should be going for. What's the difference? Well, overreaching is basically planned overtraining, what you're doing in order to push yourself to the next level. So you go into a microcycle of about 4 to 5 weeks of progressive overload, where in the end you're training with your max weights for a week. Obviously you can't do this for very long, which is why then you take a deload week. But the actual overtraining, like I said, is rare, which is also why I think most people don't train enough volume. Everybody's so afraid of that they could be overtrained at this, that, the other, that they train each muscle once a week, a tiny little workout here and 3 sets of that. Your muscles recover within 36 hours. Right? Most of us don't do anything physical during the day. Like realistically, we do 1 hour in the gym, and the rest of the day we sit at the computer or whatever. Like if you do construction work, or that might be different, but other than that, you're not doing anything. So the overtraining thing, honestly, not the case. You can absolutely train every body part twice a week, maybe often. And yes, you can train 5-6 times a week, as long as you feel that your strength is good, your sleep's in check, your caloric intake works. If you're feeling that, you know, you have more than 4 to 5 not so good workouts in a row, sure, take a day off for here. A lot of times also an overuse of stimulants, people using too much caffeine, pre-workouts, etc., which can lead to adrenal burnout, which then feels like overtraining, but it's not really. So that has to be taken into account. But in the grand scheme of things, honestly, overtraining is sort of like the Yeti. Like nobody has really seen it in most gyms. Most people there are actually massively undertrained because they're keeping their volume so low. So takeaway points. Overtraining is rare. Undersleeping is not rare. Undereating is also not so rare. Fix those 2 things, the gains will come. Train every muscle at least twice a week. Lagging muscles you can even train 4 times a week. Not to failure, but add some volume in. And the gains will be yours.